Hello, today's video is going to be about having rules for your dog and how it correlates with being an affectionate and loving pet owner. Sometimes people tend to think that if you make your dog work for each and everything it gets, you may not be a loving and affectionate pet owner. I love my dogs, they are like my children. That's some people don't like that, but I think of my dogs as my children. But I make sure that they earn every little thing that they get every day. Now, is this not cruel? Is this not me being a slave master? That question itself is very misguided because that question will arise only if you look at this relationship from the vantage point of the human having authority over the animal. So unless you think of yourself as the superior being giving orders and giving commands to that inferior being which has no other option but to comply. Now, I don't look at it like that. Now, let us keep this argument aside and I'll give you a small example. I don't know how many of you are familiar with ping pong, table tennis. So it's a very fast paced game. You tap the ball to your opponent and the opponent taps the ball back to you, and back and forth it goes. Maybe even for a minute or two, and by the time 80 times the ball has been tapped back and forth. Immaterial of who wins that point, just the act of tapping it back and forth itself is reinforcing both to you as well as to your opponent and as well as to the spectators. This is how our brains work, because we are social beings, and just that interaction, that mutual interaction itself is reinforcing. Now let's come back to the dog training argument. I don't look at myself as the person of authority who's compelling my dog to do something. When I ask my dog to sit, it's a dance between me and my dog. I don't think of myself as the only person who has the power to reinforce my dog. When my dog sits, he makes me happy. So now my dog is in the position of power to reinforce me. And when he reinforces me, I become happy. And when I become happy, I reinforce him back. So it is a mutual back and forth taking place between me and my dog. So once you understand that small obedience behaviors in quick succession is not slave driving, it is just a dance that you and your friend have. It is just a game that you and your friend have. Now, another question might be, why should you even have this game? Why is it relevant? The reason why it is relevant is because it stops and almost eliminates all sorts of bad behaviors. Many people say that, I'm not interested in obedience. I don't care if my dog can sit. I don't care if my dog can distance control, switch positions. I don't care if my dog can heel. I don't care if my dog can front. All I care about is my dog should be well behaved. That's quite a crazy statement. It is like saying, do you see that ceiling up there? That ceiling is about 22 feet up. Now it is like saying that I don't care about all these walls that hold up that ceiling. All I am interested is in that ceiling. Now, that is simply not possible. So the good behavior is held by these little bricks of individual small behaviors you train. Unless you have these behaviors, that good behavior cannot be held up. And this is why you have to start training these little behaviors that may seem totally irrelevant, because that is the means by which you build that relationship of mutual reinforcement. So people who say that if you are always asking your dog to do something, then you are not being kind to your dog, I think are not looking at this scene from the right vantage point. They have to look at it from a different vantage point. So anyway, next video I'll demonstrate how this dance goes. Some 4 or 5 sequences in normal day-to-day life. Hope this was helpful. See you soon.